wherever you are in the world. Good day, good people, good day, and welcome to Wow, Wish Only Well live television show. I am your host, SherVonne Grose, marriage and family therapist, inspirational coach, and motivational speakers. Today is Wednesday, guys. It's a wonderful Wednesday indeed, and you know what we do on Wednesdays. We come to Wow. That's right, Wish Only Well all across the world. I am so super excited today, guys, about my very special guest. He is already in the studio and we are ready to get the conversation started. But, before we bring up my very special guest, I have to do justice. I have to actually introduce him appropriately. So let me just do just that. Let me read you some of his bio so you will have an idea of who my very special guest is on tonight. A visionary, entrepreneur, and philanthropist are just a few words that describe Freddie E. Taylor, founder and CEO of Urban Intellectuals, or UI. Spurred by the lack of Black history instructions that his sons received in grammar school, Freddie knew the onus was on him to create a new narrative of Black culture. And in 2009, Urban Intellectuals was born. Initially, Urban Intellectuals was an online hub of Black media that boasts over 1 million Facebook fans. That's just wow. A mobile app and its own social media network. Today, the company has several products, including the renowned Black History Flashcards. UI has aggressively taken a lead role in engaging, educating, and empowering people who are curious and passionate about the African diaspora. Over 300 Black History flashcards have been sold and featured in Essence, HuffPost, CBS Chicago, Good Morning Washington, Milwaukee PBS, ABC News Live, and Sister Circle on TV One. Urban Intellectuals, or UI, enjoyed a 2019 Black History Month collaboration with JetBlue, featuring the flashcards in the JFK, New York, and Newark, New Jersey airports. Additionally, Urban Intellectuals received the 2021 All Black National Convention's Black Business of the Year Award. Listen, guys, I am so excited to bring Freddie Taylor on so that we can get the conversation started. Are you guys ready? Because we are absolutely ready. And without further ado, I am bringing on none other than Freddie Taylor. Hi, Freddie.
Hello, hello. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Wow Wish Only Well live television broadcast. It is such a pleasure to have you here.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's my honor to be
Yes.
here.
Yes, I'm so excited. Oh, I like that shirt that you have on. It says busy making my ancestors proud. I love it. I love it. I too am wearing a collection.
Yeah, yeah,
Urban
love peace.
Intellectuals.
Yes.
I love it. Yes, yes, yes.
I
So this is
appreciate you.
all great. I wanted to share something that I had written on commented on a post on Facebook, and I think it's important because it will be a good segue into the start of our conversation,
Okay.
right? And so I wrote this. This you should add this to your bio because I think it's really good.
You take some
Okay.
notes.
This brother is a walking book of knowledge and a real creative. He betted on himself, believed in his product, and now he's banking the benefits. Oh my
I
goodness.
like it.
Yes, yes, yes. So I think that this is a good way to just kind of start the conversation off because so what we see today is actually the upside or the growth of Freddie Taylor, right? But can you share with us about the process, right? How did this all kind of get started? Because I know most people just know you right about for the flashcards, but it started before then, right?
Oh man, yeah, it's a long journey. Like you don't have me on the couch like you're my therapist. You're gonna take me back. But yeah, I have I've been a serial entrepreneur. I mean, I've been an entrepreneur since I was pretty much an adult. Like I've had two jobs in my life. I had one in high school and one in college, and that was it. And but it was enough for me to realize that I gotta be an entrepreneur. I gotta be a business owner. So
Right.
I kept betting on myself and taking a lot of risks. But what I found is over the years, it was the accumulation of experience that really catapulted me here. I can't even say catapulted me, right? Because it's just been such a long grind. It's just really taking those opportunities, learning from the let's call them coming up short, right? Maybe not failures, but coming up a bit short, just taking lesson after lesson and then applying it moving forward. But ever since I graduated, I've just been out here trying to make it happen, and
Oh,
had a lot of different successful businesses. The success is in the eye of the beholder. I used to feed my family. That's a, that's
that's
an
the most
important.
important, right?
That's the most
Exactly.
important thing. But yeah, so I just kept folding opportunity after opportunity, coming up short after coming up short into the next venture, and making sure that I wasn't repeating the same mistakes that I was having. And then finally, we had a little bit of breakout success. But I like to think that things are just getting started.
Oh, awesome, awesome. I know because I can't wait to hear about all the things that all the things that UI is doing at this particular time. I know there's a lot of exciting things going on, and so we'll get into that a little bit later. So now you mentioned in terms of college, when you were in college, I believe I saw you in fraternity. Is that right? Are you?
Yeah. I'm an Omega man, right? The
You
Q's, right?
know.
Omega Psi Phi,
Okay.
Fraternity Incorporated. Yeah.
All right, give that shout out. Give that shout out.
Yeah. You got to love the bros, right?
Okay, good. Okay. Now, and I think I read somewhere where it talked about how it started for you. You had a love of history, and that's kind of what ignited your passion, correct?
Yeah. Well, my dad was born in 1929, and like he is really the core of like where like my appreciation for history comes from. But of course, as a child growing up, I didn't want to hear that, right? Like who
Mhm.
wants to hear that, right? But as I got to school and got to college and started having a lot of different conversations and being exposed to a lot of different information, I started to notice how we're being left out of the conversation. And it was actually a poignant moment in 1999. Yeah, I'm that old, right? So I was in grad school in 1999, and I had to do a paper. It was a history of economics course. I was getting my master's in business administration at the time at Southern Illinois University at Carbondale. Go Salukis. But I'm in this class, and of course, I'm like one of 5 or 6 Black people in the MBA program at that particular time. One was my wife, the others were my frat brothers,
Wow.
by the way.
Wow.
But I'm in this class, and we had to write like, I don't know, 35-page paper on a historical event. And this white teacher told me, "Hey, Freddie, you should do Black Wall Street." And I had no idea what it was. And, I know today everybody knows what Black Wall Street is, but this is 1999. The internet is like 5 years old.
Right.
People weren't really using it like that. So I had no idea about this type of information. And when I did my paper. I actually still have the paper. I should publish it one day.
You
But
should.
yeah, but it was mind blowing, right? I was blown away to, doing a history of economics course to learn about Black Wall Street. At the time, I was just literally floored. And this was like the real genesis of me feeling like, hey, somebody should start telling us about our history and our culture. Somebody should start sharing this information. And I actually started printing out what I call Black History profiles at the campus library. I would print them out in bundles, and I would sell them on the yard for a quarter just to recoup my costs. But I
Mhm.
was spreading information about our history and our culture because I felt that passionately about it. Who would have known that it turned into this? Because I was just doing it out of inspiration and dedication to our community.
Wow. I mean, it's just awesome how it started. So tell us about the flashcards and how that kind of came about because I read interestingly that you held on to that idea. It wasn't just like you had it for a while. So tell
Yeah.
us like
So what I neglected to mention was like in my ventures, right? So I did like the MLM thing for a while. I was like a direct salesperson, but then I got into real estate appraisals. I owned an appraisal business. I owned a magazine, a real estate investment magazine, a real estate investment group. I took that online. And because the appraisal market, it started to sour. The real estate market started to sour
mhm,
in '07, '08.
mhm.
I decided around '07 that I wanted to make money online. I was like, listen, you're intelligent. I got tired of being out in traffic, riding around, just putting wear and tear on the car, being away from my young growing family. I just made a mental decision that I'm going to figure out how to make money online. And around 2007, I got real serious about that. And
Mm-hmm.
about 2008, I ended up in this Skype group with these entrepreneurs from all over the world, right? And we're just having wild conversations. And I'm just fascinated that people are traveling the world and making money on the internet. And
Mm-hmm.
around 2011, this woman named Brilliant Jenny in the group, right? She said, Freddie, I see you growing your Facebook following. 2009, I got on Facebook, by the way. So
Mm-hmm.
she was like, I see you growing your Facebook following with urban intellectuals. It looks like it's great. You need a product. You need to be selling them something physical instead of this media angle that I was doing. And
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking, like, what am I going to sell people when I just talk this black stuff, right? Like, I just talk black history, black
Right.
culture, you know, asking people wild questions to try to spark thinking and thought in their consciousness. And I was like, what am I going to offer them? So around 2011, I came up with the flashcards because that's how I used to study in college, using flashcards. And
Wow.
if you think about, if you ever saw my Black History profiles, that's really was the back of the flashcards, right? But I started thinking, like, who's going to care about flashcards? Don't nobody want no flashcards. And
Oh
I
my.
put it off. Yeah, did I blow it then? Because the algorithm was wide open. We could have really blew this thing open. But anyway, it took me 6 years to 2017 before I said, I couldn't come up with anything else. Right? I'm like, what else am I going to offer? I'm still trying to figure out a product and a service. And then finally, I offered the flashcards in 2017, and things kind of took off from there.
They took off, indeed. They really did take off. And I think when I was reading the story, actually, you were featured in a magazine article. I believe it was in January of last year, in reference the Black Enterprise magazine, and you were talking about. And actually, I wrote the title down because the title read, "The Black Man." This black man turned $1,500 into a multi-million-dollar business selling flashcards.
Selling flashcards, like
Selling
literal
you
flashcards.
flashcards with very important information on it. Let's not forget that. Let's be clear
Absolutely.
about that, right? So
Absolutely.
you were selling. So, but I read in that article that you thought initially, and I guess you pretty much just said it, that you thought it was a silly idea. But I just wonder how many people like are viewing or will view this and just think that their idea, they sit on their idea because they second guess themselves and think, I don't have a product that, people want to hear, or I don't have a service that people, will pay money for. What would be advice to those people that may be sitting on the fence about something they have?
Yeah, realize that you might not be the target market for your product or your service. So you have to kind of put it out there to see if those people are interested in it, right? So don't sell your idea short. I'll tell you this, you're never going to be right out of the gate 100%, bang, first time, knock it out of the park, right? Like that's not going to happen. So you got to start to just put information or put ideas out there and concepts
Mhm.
out there and see who's gravitating towards it. Let the market tell you if it's working or not. They'll tell you with their dollars, right? That's really how you know if something works or not. You run into situations where people love their ideas so much that they run, their bank accounts in the ground trying to make this thing happen. But if the market wants to spend money with you, they will, right? And they will tell you if it's an effective product by spending their dollars. You might need to tweak it, you might need to change some things, but if the money isn't flowing in, you might just have to change some things. But if you never put it out there, if you never put it into the
Right.
marketplace, then
Yeah.
you will absolutely never know. And you just end up second guessing yourself forever. So I just wish I would have had this advice in 2011 because I would have packaged it together real quick and thrown it out there. And we could have been 6 years ahead of schedule. But
6 years
uh,
ahead of schedule. But
yeah,
when
yeah.
you did throw it out there, you started with like 500 cards and they sold like hotcakes, right?
Yes, yes. We put together $1,500 for our first order. So it cost me $3 a deck in that first order uh,
Wow.
to get 500 cards. And I said, let's go ahead and pre-sell it before we actually receive the cards, right? Because
Yeah.
we had a good rapport with our audience. This is the key that they didn't really cover in the article, right? We had a great community, a great following. It was large. They were engaged. They loved the work that we were doing. They loved the information that we put out. And then when we came out with the flashcards, it was consistent. It was on brand. It was with the conversation. So when I mentioned, hey, I think we're going to pre-sale these flashcards that we're doing. This is the dimensions. This is what they look like. Here's a mock-up. And bang, man, those 500 cards sold out immediately. And then we ordered another 10,000. They put 12,000 in the article, but we ordered another another 2,000. That's where they got the 12 from. All right, they're doing math. I'm just talking. But I ordered another 2,000 decks, and boom, those sold out immediately, and they were all coming to my home. So once they sold out, we had to order more. Right, it's 10,000, and the whole time I'm communicating with our audience, like, hey, they sold out. We're gonna have to, if you order these, you're not gonna get them for 3 to 4 weeks from now because we have to get them in inventory. We have to ship them out. But everybody understood that we were in the midst of a phenomenon. It was kind of happening. So. It happened fast, man, but it would have never happened if I didn't finally put that idea out there into the marketplace.
Aren't you so glad that you did? Oh my God, absolutely. Because I think I also read in that article in like 2 years is when you hit the multi-million dollars in terms of selling.
Yeah. And now we're just an annual 7-figure company, trying to push the 8. Trying to move into that territory, but it's just been an amazing ride and a process. It just, I remember reading. I'm a voracious reader, but I remember reading something back early, like maybe 2002, that said, "You only got to be right one time." And we think about this long, arduous journey. And man, the truth is you only got to be right one time. It can change everything, right? Because once you got a bit of money, once you got a bit of establishment and your brand is out there, you have more opportunities to do things than when you're just trying to scrap and get it along. But you only got to be right once, like seriously. Like we did a couple of million. If tweak the idea, it could have been 100 million. It could have been $1 billion.
Exactly.
Right? Those numbers are only big in our heads. It's not really big when you see how much money is floating around and how freely people are willing to give them away. So don't underestimate your ideas. Like really put it out there and give it a chance. The market, they just may gravitate to it.
Right, exactly. Oh, that's awesome that you've shared. Basically, you just shared a whole course. If people were paying attention, I mean, and that's the whole purpose, as you and I had discussed earlier about WOW. Like that's the whole purpose of like behind WOW, like trying to get people to see that it's possible for you to invest in yourself and come out on top, right? And so I think it's awesome. And you just gave a whole. That's just it. I try to get people listen. You guys got to listen. I'm bringing on the guests that will tell you what you need to know. And you just dropped it. You told them, first of all, they need to build their audience right there. You had their following. So, yeah. So come on, you were about to say
something. Let me drive it up. Let me drive it a little bit further then, right? Because it's really about creating value. You solve people's problems. You create value by solving people's problems. They will give you money. That's just the fact. And that's really what finding product market fit is, right? So a lot of entrepreneurs end up doing 7, 8 different things and none of them is really hitting. That's why you got 7, 8 different things that's accumulating to $30,000, $40,000 in gross revenue is because nothing has really penetrated the market. It's never really made sense to the people that are buying from you. You got people, you hear it all the time. My friends and family don't support you. Listen, your friends and family not going to make you rich. Right. You don't got enough.
Exactly.
Right? You ain't got enough. You ain't got enough to hit $1 million in annual revenue.
Right.
You just don't have enough friends and family. So you're going to have to get out of that mindset and start to think about product market fit and what really is the problems that your market is facing. And then does your product really solve them in a unique manner? Because if they do, bang, it's like lightning in a bottle. And the thing about the flashcards is the exact reason that the flashcards really hit with our audience is because it wasn't tech. Everybody was telling me, you need an app. You need an app. It's all about the app. It's all about the app. But you know what happened when I talked to parents? Parents said, I'm tired of my children on these screens.
Right.
I'm freaking tired of. This is why I love your product, because in order for them to engage your product, they got to get off them screens. They got to pick up something physical. Right. They got to engage with it and talk to me about it. Right. Mm-hmm. So it's a contrarian viewpoint, but I only got there because I talked to my marketplace. I talked to the people. I talked to the parents, really the moms and the grandmas that are really buying it in the community. And now we just build more items and products and services to serve that particular need or that thought, those problems.
For sure, you do. And tell them about, because I know that we mentioned just like the Black History card, and you just hold up like one deck, of flashcards, but that's not all urban intellectuals offer. So
No.
so give us everything, because I mean you grew that from. So were you urban intellectuals before the flashcards, or you urban intellectuals grew out of?
Um, Before the flashcards. So
Okay.
that's the name of our holding company is Urban
Hmm.
Intellectuals. That's the mama brand. But inside of that, we do a lot of different things. But flashcards are our core offering, right? So we actually have 5 of them in our core offering of flashcards. So volume 1 is the general history deck. 2 is all Black women. 3 is a STEAM series: science, technology, engineering, arts, mathematics. 4 is a before 1492 series. So it starts about 35,000 years ago and comes up to 1492, because we got to stop teaching our children that we're just descendants of slaves. And then volume 5 is an Afro-Latin, Afro-Caribbean series, because what we're doing is tying together the global diaspora, African diaspora, and letting us know that we all want people with a common interests and common problems, but working together can help us solve them. But even the flashcard series go beyond that, because we got playing card decks of playing cards. We got matching pairs game. We got a trivia games. We have all types of things around this particular market. We even got Black History ABC cards for younger children, right?
Love it.
But again, sticking with the mantra of getting them off of the internet
Mhm.
is really the focus of the store. But then we have a feature where we a program called the Sankofa Club. That is
Mhm.
our live Black History Club that has live Black History classes taught by Black teachers on the information that's not only in the flashcards, but they expand upon it as well. We got curriculums that we build and put into the schools, led by our Black Math Genius program is our biggest curriculum at the moment, that molds history and mathematics together. Because what better way to inspire little Black boys and little Black girls to tell them that they are the founders and the creators, are the discoverers of mathematics and the sciences, right? This is how you inspire children. You tell them the truth. Go figure. And then we have travel experiences as well. So we're
Yeah.
taking Black History travel experiences to Africa right now. We're going to Ghana and Egypt this year, later in the year. So
Hmm.
just a couple of things going on right now.
Yeah, you got a lot of things going on. I love it. Yeah, that's just really exciting to hear about all of the things that you have going on and how you just have continued to just offer things. I know that we also spoke about, tell the people a little bit about the concept of math, because in our previous conversation we talked a little bit about math, and so that was really interesting to me, because I had this concept that this mind block that I'm just not good at math. And so you offer something different, a whole different perspective on that.
Yeah, absolutely. And so inside our not only our Black Math Genius program, but even in our lessons, in our flashcards and everything, we try to remind people of the truth, right? The school and the Western educational system wants you to
Mhm.
believe that the Greeks discovered mathematics and the sciences and brought those things to the world, when this is an absolute false lie, right? This is just really a way to put blinders on you, to not to get you to understand who you are on this planet and your contributions to humanity. When you read Greek history, they tell you they sat at the feet of the Africans, and this is who taught them everything that they know. But this type of information is really eye-opening to young children. And when you start to you get individuals that have blocks like this, right? It's good to remind them that this stuff comes from people that look like you, that come from places that you come from. In fact, mathematics was discovered, the earliest known mathematical tool, let me say that, was discovered to be led by a Black woman, right? It's called the Lubombo bone, that was discovered 35,000 years ago in Central Africa. And it was the thigh bone of a baboon, and it has these markings in it that they were using to trace the lunar calendar, counting the lunar calendar, right? So they were tracking cycles and whatnot. But all of this stuff was known tens of thousands of years ago, right? They knew that the moon was connected to the woman's body and controlled the menstrual cycle, right? Like, this
Mhm.
information is
Mhm.
mind blowing. Why not share the truth with the young people? And we tell children today that Pythagoras came up with the theorem A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Which,
that's what I was taught.
yeah, that's what we always taught. But then before Pythagoras was born, there's these big pyramids in Egypt built on this principle. So how did he create something before he was born? Like, somebody's not giving you the whole story. And we just feel like that the whole story, the truth, really will set Black children free. We talk about being behind the curve by third grade. Well, stop telling the kindergartners these lies, right? Stop telling the first graders these lies. Tell them the truth, and let them know that information is that this is possible. It's inside of them. And just because you don't get something quickly doesn't mean that you can't get it. You have to be diligent and hardworking like your ancestors were, in order to drive and make a progress in these areas. So we just try to remind them of their greatness.
Yeah, that's important. I mean, that, hearing that and knowing that, as I talked to you last time and I said, oh my God, that just inspired me, made me want to work harder at math, because I just kind of gave up and purposely, chose careers where I didn't have to have a lot of math to take a lot of math courses. And I hear the same thing from my kid. Well, one of my youngest daughter is really good at math, but my oldest daughter and I, we say we're not too good at math. So, right. But it's on the inside of us. So, we bought into the concept that, and nobody taught us anything differently, like said anything different. So, conversations need to be held regarding this. I mean, how do you suggest that we get? I know we should buy the flashcard and start teaching our children our history younger, but what about for us as adults? Because it's not too late.
No, it's not. I just, understanding the truth of who we are and who we've been on this planet is really inspiring. Yesterday, I was speaking to a detention center up in Canada, 18 to 35-year-olds. And this is pretty much the same message that I was giving to them. Like, it's not too late for you, right? Everybody makes bad decisions. Everybody has self-limiting thoughts, and self-limiting thoughts and doubts about themselves. But it's really just an internal decision that you got to make, that I'm going to live up to the promise of my ancestors, right? I'm going to stay busy making my ancestors proud. So if you have this type of mentality that this is bigger than you, that your achievement is not only necessary, it's fundamental to our future and our growth. And like how I love to remind people is you're going to be a future ancestor, right? The thing about life is you won't get out of it alive. So the question is, what type of legacy are you going to leave? What type of brick are you going to leave in the foundation? What type of shoulders are you going to leave that the next generation can stand on? So if you're facing something that you might have a self-limiting doubt to, you might have to get attached to something greater than yourself and see the greatness of your ancestors and the history of all of the stuff that we brought to the table for the world, not just for Black people, not just for Africans, but for the world, and kind of get in that and stop letting yourself off the hook. This is the real thing. We don't want to hold ourselves to the standard of excellence. Like it's not okay to be mediocre. It's not okay. Too many people have died before you, right? It's not okay. We only accept in excellence, right? And once you get that inside your mind, nothing can stop you, right? It might take you longer to learn something. It might take you longer to figure something else out, but that doesn't mean that you can't do it, right?
Yeah.
You can still operate in excellence over time. So just keep the drive going. And somebody just got to breathe life into you, right? Sometimes it's got to be yourself.
Oh my God. I love it so much. I don't even have to ask you to do words of wisdom, to take us out with wild words, because you just gave it to without me even having to ask you to do so. It has just been absolutely, and time goes by so fast when I'm doing these interviews. I just really love it. I love the passion. It shows through as you talk about what it is that you do. And I'm so proud that you have just built a legacy. I mean, it's just awesome what you're doing through Urban Intellectuals. And I missed out on the trips this time, but I'm going to catch it because I want to know more about my history. So again, thank you so much for taking time out of your very busy schedule to come be a special guest here on WOW. That means a lot to me and to the viewers. So thank you again so much. And listen, guys, go to Urban Intellectuals, urbanintellectuals.com.
Yes.
Did I get your website right? Okay. Yes. I mean, they have awesome apparel on there for you. So go check it out and you can, read all about all the great things. You can get the flashcards and everything that he talked about here in the show. So please do that and join the Sankofa Club. especially if you got young kids. It is an awesome club. I get to see things that come through about it. I think I'm a member of the club, I think, but I get the newsletter anyway. Yeah. So and I did that before I even knew who Freddie Taylor was,
That's
right?
beautiful.
So yeah, so just awesome. It was just great coming across. So again, thank you so much, Freddie, for your time. Good luck and be safe on your travels over the weekend. So we'll see you next time.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay, bye-bye. All right, guys, you know what we do? We wow. So wish only well all across the world. That is our time for tonight. So have a very prosperous evening and rest of the week. Until next week, till next time. Goodbye.